Financial planning and investment management services provided through Certified Advisory Corp, CAC, a federally registered investment advisor. CAC is a federally registered investment advisor and only transacts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Information presented on this program is believed to be factual and up to date, but we do not guarantee its accuracy, and it should not be regarded as a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. Discussions and answers to questions do not involve the rendering of personalized legal, tax, or investment advice, but are limited to the dissemination of general information. Listeners should consult with a legal, tax, and/or investment professional for advice specific to their needs.
Good morning and welcome to On the Money right here on WDBO AM 580, always streaming inside your WDBO app. This is your chance, Central Florida, to hop on the air with experts in the financial advising field. They'll help you get you to and through retirement. They can help you save for a rainy day, all the things that you need as you move on into that part of your life, because we have Charles Curry and Joe Bert standing by, answering your calls, offering their advice, because as they have done for over 3 decades here on WDBO. If you want to join the conversation, I invite you to call 844-580-9326. Lines are wide open. Send in your open mic using that free WDBO app. And if you do call in, you may notice that Charles and Joe might be a little out of breath today, because you guys had quite the morning so far today.
Well, Charles is more out of breath than me, but yes, we were at the 5K run for Tunnels to Towers in Altamont Springs this morning. Charles participated, and I observed because I had to get back here to set up the program this morning. But our crew was out there this morning as sponsors of this wonderful event. This is the 12th event that they've done it in Altamont Springs, and they had thousands upon thousands of people. It was really something to see, wasn't it, Charles?
It really is. It was something to see and something to participate. Thank you for letting me catch my breath here today after doing that 5K this morning. Yes, it was a beautiful day, and of course, as you mentioned, they've been doing it for over 12 years, and we've been going for the last 3, and it's just amazing the size of the crowd has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger every year that we've participated. And of course, I appreciate you and the firm and the support for that great organization. And it's just amazing the number of folks that come out, and it's one of those kind of things almost like 4th of July, just so patriotic, where everybody gets together and just to hear the stories and to come back and kind of rethink about 9/11, and then of course folks now that have lost loved ones in the line of duty, and it just really makes you appreciate being American and living here in the United States of America, and just the sacrifices a lot of folks make for the freedoms that we have and the personal safety that we have, and seeing those firefighters running a 5K, which is hard enough in the Florida heat to do it with no gear. They're running in full firefighter gear.
40 to 50 pounds of gear. You got the firefighters running the 5K. Yeah, and that's incredible to see.
You see those oxygen tanks they're carrying, and you're just you're cheering them on, because I don't think any of the rest of us could do what they're doing, and see the police officers with their gear and the bulletproof vest and everything else running, and in that Florida heat where it's 100% humidity, and it's impressive what everyone's doing for a great cause. And I was reading about how much they've raised last year. They raised over $290 million, which is just tremendous, the amount of support that folks have behind that great organization.
It's a Tunnel to Towers is a wonderful organization. Started really as of 9/11, as you mentioned, and they've gone on to support the first responders and all those people that every day put their lives on the line for us to have the freedoms that we enjoy in this country. And it was a beautiful, heartwarming thing to see. Our bagpipers out there this morning when they introduced some of the family members who had lost loved ones in the line of duty, and hear them tell their stories. And then they played Amazing Grace on the bagpipes and the national anthem. And literally there were thousands of people out there. You know what it reminded me of? You've seen the marathons where people run across the Brooklyn Bridge. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it looked like this morning. It was really incredible to see, and we're glad to be sponsors of that here, and appreciate your participation, and all of our colleagues who are out there this morning giving a hand, setting up this morning at 4:45 to make it all happen. But anyway, we are here this morning. Charles catching his breath, and I'm here to take calls along with Charles, things that might be on our listeners' minds. As you said, we are here to take calls. This is not a 1-hour infomercial. We are to help you, as we do day in and day out, Monday through Friday, providing retirement planning and investment management for a fee. On Saturday morning, though, we are here for you absolutely free. And if you're listening on Sunday morning or Saturday morning at 7, when the replay of the show, we appreciate your listening. But this is the live broadcast, at 9 a.m. here on Saturday. And I see we have a call already there. Josh, so take it away.
You got it. If you want to join the conversation, Joe and Charles were talking about their community efforts here, and they're a nationally acclaimed organization, the Certified Financial Group, but they just happen to be in your backyard over here in Central Florida. So I love that Tunnels to Towers organization, and thank you so much for playing a role this morning, guys. But Rob has a call this morning, as you can too. The lines are open: 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO. Send in your open mic using that free WDBO app. We have Rob calling in from Orlando. Go ahead, Rob. You're on.
Good morning, Rob. What's up?
Good morning, gentlemen. Happy Saturday to you. How are you?
Same to you. We're
Thank
fine.
you.
What's up?
Wonderful. Got a quick question about Social Security. Me and my wife been married for 35 years, and getting ready to retire in about 8 to 10 years, and went on my Social Security website so we can see what one of us qualifies for. And the other one doesn't have enough credits, has about 36 out of the 40 credits needed to qualify for Social Security. So the question is it, I think you get one credit for every 4,000 in earnings or something like that. Is it worth stroking a check and paying in to get up to the 40 credits to be able to, for the spouse B to be able to collect something, or is it not probably worth it? Because I think the spouse B can collect half of spouses A's Social Security, correct?
Yeah, you're right about that.
Okay.
I don't know that you can't just write a check to Social Security.
Rob, are you self-employed or own your own business, or your wife's
Self-employed, correct. Yeah, if someone is self-employed, could they go ahead and, if they're starting a business at this point, starting a business,
right,
and then go ahead and start paying in?
Yes. Yeah, well, yes, you can do that, but you can't just write a check to Social Security and not have income, not have wages. Social Security is paid for by the employer and by the employee, and right, and that goes in, and you have to have 40 quarters. So it's not dollars amount. It's every right, Charles?
Yes, it's quarters. Yes,
right, it's quarters. So 1 year of income should do it.
Correct. Right. That's what I meant by stroking a check. Like just, bringing in enough wages on a self-employed business then to pay into it and earn up to that 40 credits.
Right.
And so that's my question. So is it worth it at that point, or probably not? When you're about 8 to 10 years. Now, all the earnings, the 30 years, there's been, I think they take 30 years and they average every year, so there's been zero for all those years.
Yeah, it's your highest 35 for 35 years, and you're going to have 10 years if you get another year under your belt. So you'll have 10 years, and you will have the spouse will have some benefit there. If you don't do that, you're foregoing the other 36 quarters that you've already paid in. It depends. You're right. You're probably not. It depends on what your benefit. Let's assume that you're the higher earner.
Yep.
She's going to get half of what you would be entitled to.
Okay.
And when you pass away, she's going to get your benefit, the higher of her benefit or your benefit, which generally is going to be your benefit.
So that's how it works. So when spouse B passes away,
right.
then even if they had the low amount, they can convert then to the other spouse's higher amount.
That's correct.
The full higher amount?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. Yeah.
The whole idea there is that Social Security doesn't want to kind of disenchant or disenfranchise the lower earning spouse, or if you have a spouse that doesn't work,
right.
When the higher earner dies, they're going to get the higher of the two. And the thing that a lot of folks kind of forget is when that spouse, the higher earner spouse passes, they don't get, the survivor or widow doesn't receive two Social Security checks. They just get the higher of the two.
Right.
The higher of the two. Gotcha. Yeah, well, according to right now, as of this date, according to my Social Security, we're looking at for a delayed to age 70 of almost $4,200 a month.
Okay.
For spouse A.
Right.
And then nothing for spouse B right now, but so that means spouse B would then get half of the 40. So when if you both started collecting at age 70, so spouse A gets the 4,200, and then spouse B gets half of that.
Yes.
At the same time, really?
Yes.
Okay.
And now you wonder why Social Security is going broke.
Right. That kind of right. But I guess I kind of see why they might do that, because if you want to encourage one spouse to be a stay-at-home parent,
right,
how do you penalize them for doing that, for not working for 30 years while raising a family? So I guess I see, but yeah, it's not working. Okay, well, very interesting. So the real question is just trying to put the numbers, say, okay, is it worth getting the extra 4 quarters? Mm-hmm. And then how much would that benefit actually be versus just getting half of the benefit that's already there?
Well, my guess is that her 40 quarters isn't going to get half of what your benefit is.
Would not.
No, yes, intuitive. Unless she was paying in the full amount for those the other 36 quarters,
right?
Up to the max. My guess is that no, it probably doesn't make sense. What do you think, Charles?
Yeah, it's back to you have to do the calculation and figure out is the paying the Social Security tax as a self-employed person worth it to kind of build up her basis for her to collect Social Security.
Right.
Versus not, and kind of what that benefit looks like. And it's a lot of calculations, a lot of what financial planning does to help you figure out kind of what makes sense. If she does qualify for Social Security, she could claim for herself, and then you delay, and then when you collect, then she, in essence, can drop hers and collect half of yours.
Oh, really? Could do that, too.
Correct.
Okay. Now, do you guys run those calculations? If we came into your office and set all that up, would you be able to run those and say, okay, yeah, it's worth, go ahead and pay the 4 quarters, start the business and go ahead and do that? Or is the formula so convoluted at Social Security that you wouldn't be able to really know until you get the statement from them?
When we do financial planning, it's an extensive look at everybody's benefits, but trying to estimate what your spouse would be entitled to if she paid in for 4 more quarters, I don't think we can come up with an accurate number. Do you think, Charles?
Not a specific, but
yes,
an estimate.
And it would be, at best, it'd be a guesstimate. But my gut tells me, Rob, that it doesn't make economic sense.
Okay.
She's better off collecting your half and then assuming your benefit when you pass. That's probably what's going to end up. Makes most sense.
Gotcha. All right.
Can I help you out?
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate your help very much.
All right. Have a great weekend.
Thank you for the
Thanks
call.
for the call. And we're up against the break here, Josh, so take it away.
I don't know about you, but if you're listening in the car right now and you're thinking this conversation sounds way too good to be free, the advice that you get during the show is it really is priceless, and that's what the Certified Financial Group does Monday through Friday for a small fee. But in the process of this hour, from 9 a.m. Saturday to 10 a.m. Saturday, they do it on the air for free. And so now Rob is smarter than he was 20 minutes ago, thanks to the Certified Financial Group and the On the Money show here on WDBO. If you want to join the conversation, you can call in 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO. Send in your open mic using that free WDBO app. You're listening to On the Money. We're helping you plan tomorrow
today
with the Certified Financial Group. Welcome back to On the Money, brought to you by the Certified Financial Group here on AM 580 and also always streaming inside your WDBO app. You got that smartphone, open it up, push play wherever you got internet, wherever you got Wi-Fi. Take WDBO with you on the go. And anywhere in the world you are right now, if you'd open it up and push play, you're going to get that sweet advice from the Certified Financial Group, helping you get to and through retirement. If you want to join the conversation, Joe Bert and Charles Curry standing by, answering your questions, guiding you through and to retirement. 844-580-9326 is the number to call. 844-580-WDBO, or send in an open mic using that WDBO app. The topic of the show, it's almost like Rob was onto something because his question was right on topic, but he wants, the topic of today's show is getting ready for retirement. What's your plan for Social Security and long-term care?
Yeah, Rob, he must have been clairvoyant in terms of what we're going to talk about today. Yes, in terms of what your plan is for retirement around Social Security and long-term care, I give workshops on both these topics here in our Learning Center, and it's one that's highly attended by folks, and they're all coming in with kind of basic questions and confusion around it, and I highly recommend folks coming to those, and folks who are taking the initiative, which I commend them for doing, to really kind of learn about those two kind of topics, because it's something that's going to affect almost all of us. In particular, Social Security is something that can really mean a difference for an individual. For example, when you just look at the numbers of a couple that I've talked with, they basically ask them kind of what their plan is around Social Security, and they say, well, we're just going to take it early. We're going to take it at age 62, and that sort of thing. And that's what I've been told to do. And I run the numbers for them, and it's pretty significant, the amount of money that they're leaving on the table by just doing something like that versus optimizing Social Security. And that numbers could be up to about $650,000, which can make a tremendous impact when it's overall financial kind of well-being, and also for kind of your spouse at your passing, in terms of income that's there to provide for them and for them to live on. The other part was I had worked with a widower who was looking at her when to take Social Security and didn't realize that she could claim widower benefits. And by making a mistake there, you could, in essence, kind of leave $350,000 of additional income kind of on the table. And I worked with her to show her where she could get that additional income in terms of a strategy around when to claim Social Security. So there's some things there that are tremendous when it comes to income and claiming strategies that, if you do things right, could be a tremendous amount of income that is there to support you kind of to and through retirement, and for your spouse at your passing. And the other things there too is it allows you to preserve more of your retirement assets and allow that to leave more of a legacy, whether it's to your children, to a charity, and such. Conversely, on the other side, in terms of long-term care, that's another piece that a lot of folks kind of forget in terms of cost. That's a thing that only about 8% of the population kind of thinks they're going to need some type of long-term care, when in fact, with all the advances in medical and medical care, that about 70% of the population is going to need it. And those numbers I can go over kind of later in terms of the costs are pretty eye-opening when you look at what that's going to cost for you in the future.
Yeah, people grab that Social Security early, and they forget that if you grab it at 62, statistically you got at least 25 years, maybe 30 years or more of retirement in front of you. And like you said, that could be a huge difference. So that's why we do these workshops, to educate our clients, our community, really, so you don't make that irrevocable decision and wake up and say, gee, I wish I'd have known that. So I hear the break. Josh, take it away.
Thank you so much. If you want more questions for Joe and Charles with the Certified Financial Group, pick up the phone right now and dial 844-580-9326. That's 844-580-WDBO, or send in your open mic using that free WDBO app. You're listening to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow
Today
with the Certified Financial Group. Welcome back to On the Money, brought to you by the Certified Financial Group. Your chance, you, the WDBO listener, to hop on the air with Certified Financial Planners Joe Bert and Charles Curry with the Certified Financial Group, answering your questions, helping you prepare to get to and through retirement, and prepare for that rainy day, and prepare for all things that you don't know about, because you don't know what you don't know. But that's why we have professionals on the air with the Certified Financial Group to help inform you. You got questions, they got answers. Pick up the phone right now, 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO. Or maybe you just want to say, hey, Joe, Charles, I saw you guys at that Tunnels to Tower 5K this morning. I wanted to say thanks for supporting a great local cause there in Altamont Springs. 844-580-9326. Send in your open mic using the WDBO app. Joe, Charles, what do you say we go back to the phones?
Let's talk to Joanne. Good morning, Joanne.
Springs, you're on the air.
Morning. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning. How can we help you?
I have a question. I was married for over 15 years. I'm divorced now. My ex-husband is going out on Social Security. He's 62. I'm 64. I'm still working and probably will for another year or so.
Did you say 64 or 54?
64. I'll
64.
be 65 in January. Yeah, but
Okay.
I'm not going out on Social Security yet. I'm still working. But am I entitled to a portion of his since we were married over 15 years?
Yes. The question is, do you want to collect now? Right, Charles?
Correct. Yeah, since you've been married over 10 years, you can collect as an ex-spouse off of your ex-husband's kind of work record. And the key is, of course, once that 10 years, the problem is that since you're 64 and you're in that age when you can claim Social Security off your own work record, that when you go to file, they're going to have you look at both kind of claiming off your ex-husband's work record as well as your work record. They call it deemed kind of filing, that you're filing for both and that you would receive kind of the higher of the two.
And then the other thing is you're going to have an offset if you're still working, because you're not at full
Right.
retirement age. So you have to. It may not be worth it.
No, but I'm not going to claim Social Security yet until I'm actually ready to go out.
Oh, I thought you wanted to claim now. I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
No. I'm still working and will work for, probably at least another year or so.
Okay.
Am I entitled to it? Yeah.
Yeah. Then what they'll look at is they'll look at what's the higher benefit. Right, Charles?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Correct.
They'll look at what's the higher benefit if you're claiming on your ex or you're on your own benefit. But you don't
like
get
now,
both.
or when I'm ready to go out.
No, when you're ready to retire and you go to Social Security, it says, okay, figure it out for me. What do I get? Do I get my benefit, which is higher, maybe, or do I get my ex-spouse's, which is higher, maybe? And that's what you'll get.
Oh, okay, but I can't claim anything until I actually go out on Social Security.
Yeah, you don't want to because you've got that offset, remember. If you retire before your full retirement age, you're going to give back $1 for every two over that income threshold, which slips my mind. Just
income threshold is $22,320, and once you get to full retirement age, then that kind of goes away.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I just wasn't sure whether I could collect before I am ready to go out, or I have to wait till I'm going to collect Social Security to figure out which one's going to be higher.
Yeah, you don't want to. If you're still working and you're earning over that $22,000 number, you're going to give back $1 for every two over that amount. And so chances are you're going to penalize yourself.
Yep, got it. I understand now.
Okay, well, that's why you called. I appreciate the call, Joanne.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Have a great weekend. Okay. And we had another call come in on the app, right, Josh?
That's right. If you want to send in your question, but you can't wait on hold, send in using the free WDBO app, the open mic feature inside, just like the following listener.
I'm going to be inheriting a house, 2 annuities, and a stock portfolio from my father. Wanted to know what the tax implications are when I sell the home, the beneficiaries of the annuity, and then the stock options on one of his investments.
Okay. Well, the home is easy. You will get what's called a step-up in basis, which means that on the date of his death, whatever that value is, that's the basis that you inherited at. Mm-hmm. You could turn around and sell it the next day and pay no taxes. If it goes up in value after that point, you'll have taxes to pay on any gain. Relative to the annuities, you'll have ordinary income to pay on the gain of that. So if you invested $100,000 and it's now worth $200,000, you'll have to pay taxes on the gain, and it depends on how you take it out. If you take it out under an annuity payment, you'll pay a portion of the income will be taxable to you, and a portion of his return of principal. Mm-hmm. If you cash it out in a lump sum, you'll pay taxes on whatever that gain was. But the rule is you have to cash it out within 5 years. You can defer cashing it in for 5 years. However, I haven't covered, or our firm hasn't covered, a way to defer the taxes beyond that 5-year period. But you have to do it within the first year. And I stumbled on this, unfortunately, when my mom passed away. She had an annuity, and I was the beneficiary of it. And this product didn't come out until, unfortunately, someone after she passed away, and it wasn't available. So if you're in that kind of situation that you've inherited an annuity and you're still within the first year before you haven't cashed it out, there is a way to continue that tax deferral. Otherwise, you have to pay taxes, or you have to cash it out within 5 years. Now, the stocks is a different situation.
Yeah, the stocks is really, it's back to at your dad's passing, you get a step up in basis on that as well. And that's one of those things when folks are talking about, do I sell the stock, pay the capital gains, and then gift it to my children as I'm getting later in life, or do you hang on to it? And if you hang on to it at your passing, you get that step up in basis on that stock, and that's a tremendous benefit for you. So when you're looking at those things, whether it's the home or the stocks, those have a better tax situation for you if you need access to cash or things that you can liquidate to get to access to cash to pay the taxes versus kind of the annuities that you're looking at.
Right. And I don't know how much our listeners are tuned into the proposals on the tax side, on the Democrat side, of unrealized gains and paying taxes on that. Possibly, so you want to keep your ear to the ground here and vote accordingly.
Correct, because that would open up a whole nother kind of can of worms when it comes to taxes and some of the planning for folks later in life, especially when you have a large enough estate where you might own a private business, or you have a large real estate holdings, or a large stock portfolio. and how that's what's the proper way to pass that from your estate either to your spouse or to your children, and just in terms of when you're living today, what you might be paying in kind of unrealized capital gains.
Right. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. My sense is that's probably never going to pass, and it is a stupid idea in my estimation. But there's a lot of people chatting about it right now, online, offline, all the conversation.
Correct. And the thing that I think a lot of folks need to remember is that when you're dealing with major tax code changes, you're going to need to have almost kind of a supermajority in both kind of the Congress, the Senate, and the president all need to be in the same party.
Right.
And depending on if there's still the filibuster in the Senate or not, in terms of having something like that go through.
Yeah. When you think about how our republic was set up, the checks and balances that we have between the judicial, the executive, and the legislative branches of the government, and how all those pieces and parts kind of check each other so you don't get carried away. But when you talk about the changes that are proposed, like packing the Supreme Court and eliminating the filibuster, and then you begin to erode those safeguards, if you will, and that's scary stuff in my estimation. Anyway, we've got a little bit more on that topic. Charles, you want to wrap that up on Social Security?
Yeah, in terms of Social Security, kind of before we went on break, we were talking about long-term care and some of the costs. And in terms of cost today, that if you were looking, and this is eye-opening for a lot of folks, that if you were going to need, let's say, needed long-term care, and all of a sudden you were moving into an assisted living facility, the cost of that today on a national average is about $64,000 or so dollars. And then if you needed full-blown kind of nursing home care, that number jumps up to about $116,000, which that can be a tremendous drain on your investment portfolio if you haven't done any planning on how are you going to pay for that. And just if you think about it, that's today's dollars. Let's say you're 65. Typically, a lot of folks need these things kind of the end of their life. And when we do financial planning, typically look at a 2-year average. So if you're looking 20 years from now, that's kind of assisted living costs would be, and this is with healthcare kind of inflation today being over 5%, about $182,000. Whereas if you need full-blown nursing home care, that's over $310,000. So typically with a couple, you're going to have one in assisted living and maybe one in a nursing home. That's a lot of dollars. You're talking there almost $500,000 coming out of your estate to pay for long-term care later part of your life. And if you're not planning correctly today and growing your assets and putting money aside both for today and for the future, you're going to be in a lot of trouble in terms of your assets going down dramatically at the end of your life.
That's a lot of Jack.
Correct. And if you don't plan today, then you're in for a big kind of eye-opening warnings in the future. And having had a personal experience with my in-laws around long-term care and what the costs, a lot of people think, oh, Medicare is going to pay for it, or Medicaid. Unfortunately, those programs really aren't there for most Americans, especially with Medicare. It's really, you have to be in a hospital and you might go into a rehab facility, but it's for less than 90 days. And then the rest of it is going to be coming out of your own pocket. And for some of my clients who live in some of these assisted living facilities, you'd be surprised that when they receive their Social Security checks and their kind of cost of living adjustments, that all of a sudden the rent at those facilities move up exactly in line with what they're receiving in additional income from Social Security. And the other things too around that planning for Social Security and long-term care is that the main things with Social Security is you need, as some of the callers we've had earlier today, have a plan around it. Whether you're going to be looking to take it at age 62 or at full retirement age, which could be for most folks age 67, or waiting until age 70. The things a lot of folks don't realize, if you take it early, you're taking, in essence, a penalty of what you're entitled to. That penalty could be up to receiving only about 70% of what you're entitled to in Social Security if you took it early at age 62 versus what you're entitled to at age 67 at 100%. And that if you delay from age 67 and each month all the way up until age 70, the U.S. government is going to give you a guarantee of about 8% rate of return on your money. And it's kind of hard to find anything out there that's guaranteed by the full faith of the United States government that's going to give you more and more income as you wait.
Now, you have a workshop coming up to discuss Social Security. When is it?
I do.
When is
the
it?
next workshop I'm going to be doing is on Wednesday, October 2nd from 6:30 to 8 p.m. It's very well attended. We always have a packed house around it. And we go through a lot of these different items and examples that help a lot of folks kind of realize how Social Security kind of impacts them and help them make sound decisions versus kind of what they off hear from a neighbor or friend.
So go to our website. That's financialgroup.com. Financialgroup.com. Click on events. You can sign up for any one of our workshops. We've got one coming up a week from today. Tax planning through the 4 stages of retirement. That's going to be hosted by Matt Murphy. Once again, these are absolutely free. They're held at our Learning Center here in Altamont Springs. Go to our website, financialgroup.com. We hope to see you there. And I hear the bumper music. Josh, so take it away.
That's right. If you want to join the conversation, 844-580-9326. But I also want to let you know that Wynn Smith, another certified financial planner with the Certified Financial Group, is standing by to take any off-air calls. Say if you have a question, but it's 10:01 and you still want to get the wonderful, reliable information of the Certified Financial Group, call 407-869-9800. Wynn Smith in the office, probably a few feet away from Joe and Charles right now, taking calls off the air. 407-869-9800. One more segment coming up. You are listening to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow.
Today.
The Certified Financial Group. Welcome back to On the Money here on WDBO AM 580, always streaming inside your app. Charles Curry, Joe Bert answering your questions throughout this hour. The hour's almost over, but we got one more question in, so I'm going to skip my whole spiel and just say, if you want to get help getting to and through retirement, reach out to the Certified Financial Group. Here is an open mic we just received during the break.
I have a employer 401k that I've left the company and I need to do something with. My life insurance agent has recommended I put it into an annuity. Trying to think what the best thing I should do right now with $125,000. I'm in Lake Mary, Florida. Thank you.
Okay. My gut tells me it's probably not a good idea to put it into an annuity sold by an insurance agent. First of all, an annuity in and of itself is a tax-deferred vehicle. You can take that 401k and roll it into an IRA and continue tax deferral and get the growth that the annuity is alleged to provide within that IRA without having all of the trips that or the snags that an annuity would provide. You got to be very careful with annuities. Now, I'm not saying that all annuities are bad. However, unfortunately, I've seen far too many people walk into the office with an annuity that they bought. When they bought it, it all sounded great because of the promises and the guarantees, and it's going to do everything but wash your car, only to find out it isn't quite what you thought it was, and then you're going to pay hell trying to get out of it. Really, what we advise is that you sit down with a certified financial planner, either us here at Certified Financial Group or any one of the number of qualified certified financial planners here in Central Florida, and be sure it's a certified financial planner, because anybody can call themselves a fiduciary. That's the big term on the radio today. I turn on the radio on the weekends, and everybody is a fiduciary today. Only certified financial planners are required by our licensing to work with you as a fiduciary, which means that we sit on the same side of the table as you in providing you the best advice. So I would suggest that you either give our office a call. We'd be glad to show you what we can do and how we can help you, or work with another certified financial planner in the Central Florida area. But my gut tells me I would stay away from an annuity offered by an insurance agent that's going to take your tax-deferred money in a 401k and put it into a vehicle that you don't have to get tax deferral with. You can just put it into an IRA and continue the tax deferral.
Yeah, and the other piece, too, is with that annuity, typically there's a lot of fees and a lot of costs kind of built into those things you don't know about until you jump into it with 2 feet. It's, like you said, it sounds really good from the insurance agent, and once you buy into it, you're kind of stuck with that insurance agent for a long period of time, typically.
Right.
And you're paying fees for that tax deferral, which you get basically automatically either in the 401k or in that IRA that you're paying additionally to get inside that annuity.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more flexibility with that, like an IRA rollover, for example, of you to be able to get access to that funds if you need it for upcoming expenses, whereas that annuity kind of locks that money more down for you.
Yep.
And working with, like you said, a certified financial planner can help you look at your own specific situation and look at it from your perspective.
And alternatively, if you're still working and have a 401k, you could take your old 401k and roll it into your employer's plan and just continue, put it all in one bucket and take it from there. So there are options to you, and probably the annuity is not the one you want to choose. And I hear the bumper music there. Once again, go to our website for the upcoming workshops. That's financialgroup.com, financialgroup.com. Charles and I and the 15 other certified financial planners provide retirement planning, investment management for a fee Monday through Friday. But for the weekends, we're here for you absolutely free, and we appreciate your tuning in today.
Thank you so much, Win Smith, taking calls off the air, 407-869-9800. You've just listened to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow.
Today.
The Certified Financial Group.